Right. So, hello, folks. Good evening once again. My name is Akhil. I'm from Product Space. Thanks for joining the second session of AI Product Management Crash Course. Yesterday, we have understood how product management is changing from traditional to AI product management and different facets of it. We've already started doing one case study wherein we have gone from ideas to concept note preparation, and from there we have gone to preparing a presentation as well, which could be shown to senior stakeholders as well. Today, we're going to take that case further. And we are, if the time permits, we're going to do one more technical case study, which is expected from AI applied PMs, right? Or applied AI PMs, wherein you would understand, okay, in what part of AI product management, right, the knowledge of data science or generative AI could be quite crucial for product managers to kind of know, right? So we're going to take a couple of questions for next 2 to 3 minutes. At 6:10, I'll just share my slides and we will go ahead from there. Right, let me just see if all the slides are intact. Yes, awesome. All right, no English, that's not possible. Is AI give relevant? No, AI doesn't give relevant and accurate results all the time. In fact, if you look into a lot of these, I would say founders and CEOs of generative AI companies, even they have admitted on camera and have given official statement that don't rely on GPTs. And by GPT, I don't mean chat GPT. I mean like generative pre-trained transformer. It is, kind of a model on which your LLMs are working, right? So you have to be very cautious if you're relying on chat GPT or Gemini or Perplexity for your learnings or for trusting any specific knowledge, right? Okay, awesome. Thank you, Garvit. Thanks for sharing your experience, right? Okay, I'm going to provide a quick summary of something that we have covered yesterday, and then we are going to pick up where we have left on from yesterday's session. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So we have looked in the agenda. We have also did a couple of questions in terms of like how the industry is evolving, and we've also understood like if your CEO asks whether are you ready for AI, most of you answered like no. And I've also shared one interview questions and shared our thoughts in terms of how industry is evolving, and there are a couple of industry reports which are citing these changes. And in fact, you would have noticed recently, I think the last week itself, IBM has laid off approx 8,000 folks. So you can check the number, but I think there's some layoff happened. So this is happening because not, AI is not replacing kind of product managers or respective kind of domains, but yeah, there are certain roles which might be redundant as we go along, right? So it depends on if you're already in product management, you definitely have a strong need to upskill and add value, because all the companies would now expect you to deliver 2x 3x 5x value in the same amount of time, right? So awesome. And then we have understood, okay, what AI product management is. We have did a quick glance in terms of what product development lifecycle looks like. We have broken it down as well. And after that, we have also looked into a couple of use cases. We have had that we have created one AI voice research agent, right? So it acts on behalf of product managers, call all the customers. In fact, we do like a lot of product space research as well by enabling this agent and then collecting the feedback, right? This is how it works as well. And we have looked into a couple of additional tools which will help us do discovery better. We've also understood how stakeholder dynamics are changing, how AI is helping stakeholders across the ecosystem or a value chain improve their productivity, right? Because of which, right, all the companies who have, let's say, resource crunch, budget crunch, or has like tight ROI expectations from the investors, they're also going for a resource cut down as well. And at least we are in the era wherein at least building has been commoditized, and we can't say anymore that we don't have a bandwidth, right, or the folks are occupied. I think AI has given us that flexibility. By that means we can call by with a lot of confidence that AI has become a true co-pilot, right? And after that, then we have looked into type of PMs, how this entire industry, at least product management perspective, is rewiring itself. And then we have looked into AI development lifecycle. Whenever you have to build any specific AI solution, what process you have to go through. And after that, we have looked into required skills in AI for PMs. And we were on this case study, right, on 0 to 1 food tech product buildings, right, that we were doing. We were trying to identify our niche spot in the industry, and that's what we are going to pick from, right? So I think yesterday we have looked into the PRD, right? So this is where our PRD is, right? This is a thread that we are following, right? Zelato was the product name that we have given. Okay, so what we're going to do now is like we're going to look into all these features, because if we go and build so many features in one go, we might not get the good outcome. Plus, we might run out of credits, right? So we will quickly do one thing. I will go to my prompting. Okay, but simply let me ask. Okay, can you list all the features that were mentioned in PRD, and can you prioritize them based on the impact that we want to create by identifying the sweet spot in the market? Okay, so let's see that. All right. Okay, so it has given us these 6 features that it is building on. Gen Z differentiators are these. Okay, all right. Now it is going to do a prioritization as well. These are must have. All right. Okay, now what we can do is, okay, can you rebuild the PRD keeping below pointers in consideration? First, pick top 3 features. No point in building too much initially. Second is make this PRD focused towards building prototype first, and mention explicitly that building or backend development we will be doing in phase 2. So why I'm doing that? Because I'm trying to follow the exact product management process, and many of you who have been had exposure of it would understand. See, once you have a product requirement document, right, you don't parallelly give it to designers and developers, right? You get the first designs ready. Once the designs are approved, then you take it to the stakeholders, right? So that's what I'm also doing, right? I'm asking it to give me a PRD, and I'm also asking it like, don't while we're going to use this PRD and use any of these prototyping tools, we don't want to start building the backend functionality at once, because it doesn't make sense, right? So what we're going to do is like we're just going to build the prototype first, and once the prototype is set, then we are going to build the backend of it, right? So, and of these core features, try yeah, try detailing out the user flow so that it's compatible with prototyping tools like Lovable, all right, V0, Bolt, so that we get functioning product. Okay, make these changes. Ask me anything if not clear. Avoid taking assumptions. And most importantly, give your best. My life depends on it, and your work would define how would I do later on. Okay. Yeah, it's good to give these prompts, so it definitely sees, whatever are the way, best possible ways to kind of, give. So now I have given all these later, kind of instructions, because of which it is thinking. Otherwise, it'll immediately start dumping the. And one more thing, this is like not a paid version of GPT, right? So it's just anyway using the default model. So I don't, and in real life, I won't rely a lot on this output. I would in fact work on the paid models, because they are better trained, and the quality of output would be, I would say, 2x 3x better than the current ones, right? So now you can see that prototype first PRD. So this has given me top 3 features are these, right? Context and scope defined, high level goal for prototype, right? Phase development constraints. It has defined the feature A, and it has also defined the feature B. It has also defined the feature C. Right, interesting. So I'll just use this, and okay, it's working on this. Right now, my next step is I'm assuming my PRD is ready, right? But in real company ecosystems, I'm not going to actually do copy paste and give it to designer. No, I'm going to read line by line, and I'm going to again do that iterative prompting to figure out, or I won't stop myself unless I get that exact output that I was looking for. Right now, as I said, I'll be exposing you guys to one more tool. So before we go ahead and do further action in terms of building something, let me open up that. So just give me 1 second. We have explored Visly yesterday. We are going to look into Chat PRD today. So this is the tool that everyone can understand. Decline all. I'll share the URL in the chat. All the folks, of course, I'm sharing a lot of things along the way. It's okay if you are not able to do it along with me. We will be sharing you a proper resource guide with all the tools access, and the tool names and the prompting library and everything, right? So that if you want to kind of look into the recording and do it later, you can also go for it, right? Okay. I was covering this tool today in the class, so I thought, okay, let me also give it to you guys as well. It's a good tool if you guys want to learn only about tools. So let's go further. Okay. In the meantime, can you define uh, the problem statement in brief? Okay, so this is the interface, right? Once you do the login, I think I have one more free chats available. Otherwise, this is the money that I would have to pay, right? So now it helps you. It gives you multiple functionalities. First, it'll also, you can go ahead and do brainstorming with it, right? You can also, if you have some ideas, like, you can also get feedback on your ideas as well. Plus, it'll also basically let you type or build a different variety of documents as well, right? Of course, the name says Chat PRD, so everyone would be thinking, okay, does this only help with PRD? No, it helps you build all type of documents that you would be needing as a product manager, at least, right? So you can see that PRD, API documentation, competitive analysis report, customer journey map, GTM, OKRs. You can see that it's a long list, right? So you can literally, and this is also concept note it has mentioned, right? Right. So because you could see that, right? Right now we're going to talk about PRD. So I have the problem statement. So now I'm going to copy my problem statement, paste it here. Now, okay, it's not allowing me to increase the context window. Okay. Consumers in metro cities face choice fatigue. They spend too much time deciding what to order. Okay. Write PRD for below problem statement. And yeah, okay. Help me write a document using the chat PRD. Okay, yeah, it just like appended some of the kind of text, right? So now what it is doing is it directly started writing. Ideally, if you don't give it, because I think I have already given it decent information, right? So if you give it a plain statement, so what it does is like it asks you a lot of questions, right? So it would ask you as well. Apart from this, one thing that you would notice in the output of this specific tool, which is something you have to keep in mind, it will pick any random PRD template from the market and would give you the structure as per that, right? But I think there's a better way wherein you can also add your projects here, or you can also let it know that can you give me the output in this specific format, right? So we can wait while it is doing. Let's see. So you notice, right? So yeah, mood-based food ordering PRD. It already started doing it, right? Given a little bit of a context, goals, business goals, user goals, can also read it better. Yeah, user stories it has written, right, of different personas. It has mentioned functional requirements quite detailed out as well, and you can also look into user experience pointers that it has mentioned, and further it is typing, right, UI UX highlights and all. You could notice that, right? Yeah, so this is also one of the tools that you could use. But again, as I'm mentioning again repeatedly, don't use these tools for pump and dump, right? Just use it for faster execution, and never make a point of completely relying on it. Always ensure that instead of it randomly generating content, it should take some context from you, right? So that is something which is extremely critical. Okay, now what we're going to do is, like, I think let it complete on its own. Otherwise, once it is completed, it will also give you a option to edit it in editor as well. Okay, so you can also click here and you can open it in editor as well, right? So yeah, you can also do edits here as well, right? So it's kind of a one-stop platform wherein you can really interact it in the nice way. Plus you can also give it a feedback to improve it. Okay, it's directly started working on, but I don't know how it's directly improving without taking a feedback. But yeah, you can give it a point here, right? Hey, make below changes, right? And start writing 1, 2, 3 pointers, whatever you have, right? Okay, I'm going to leave this tool now, but I just wanted to explain, okay, you can also use this tool to create a lot of documentations, right? So awesome. So let's go back to the PRD that we have built, right? Now, next, what we're going to do is, like, we are going to do parallel prototyping, right? I'll tell you why parallel prototyping is important. And right now I'm going to use Lovable, and I'm going to also use V0, and I'm also going to use Bolt. See, as I've mentioned in the interviewing, when I was talking about Amazon interview question, that the way hiring managers are asking questions are also changing drastically, right? So a lot of these hiring managers are just giving you a plain prompt statement, and they're asking you to, hey, build the product end to end, like in 20 minutes, 30 minutes as the time frame you're getting, right? And what if you've started building on one of the tool and it got stuck, right? But if you do parallel prototyping, which means like you're taking a requirement and putting it in all the required tools, right? You would also be able to make a point, okay, I generally try and test multiple options available, and I think this probably can say that Lovable is faster, but the quality is not good. You can probably do the quality comparison of different tools as well, right? So all right, now I will go ahead. You can see that Lovable I've already shared. This is the interface for V0. You will just have to give it here. This is the interface for Bolt. I'll quickly do the signing of Bolt. All right, I'm just finishing the sign up. 1 second. Now I'll go to GPT and ask, hey, okay, awesome. Can you give me Lovable friendly, okay, PRD? Yeah, I would also be doing parallel prototyping on other platforms using same content. Awesome. So let it give that. All right. It is doing all these things. Let it do. But this one is like, not as detailed as this one, because filtered results, OpenSCOT, you choose. All right. Okay, let's use this one only. No worries. Success screen, success widgets, price breakdown. Okay, let's go ahead and copy it here. And let's first go to Lovable and ask, okay, build prototype only in phase 1. Once prototype is finished, then we will go ahead and plan to build backend. Explicit exclusions. no backend. Phase-wise roadmap. I don't want to burden it with this knowledge. Phase-wise roadmap. It's not going to help it. Matrices are fine. Streak rewards. Okay, let's copy this and ask it to build. It started building it, right? Similar activity, I'm going to do it on V0. I'm going to copy paste. Okay, sign in is pending. Let me do sign in here where let me put Bolt to work. Okay, yeah, Bolt has started working. Now, in the meantime, I'll finish the sign in for V0. Yeah, I think you can also explore different functionality. You can invite your team. You can also manage your app's data. A lot of functionalities are here. Basically, this is for setting up the backend and all. And it also shows you how much token it is. I think here you can see the code that it is writing. This is where the final interface you're going to see. And now we are here on V0. Let me put V0 to work as well. Got it. Okay, let it build. In the meantime, while these platforms are building, you could see Lovable is at work. And I have credits left right now. V0 is also still thinking. Let it think. And I'll create a beautiful. Okay, it started thinking and executing it, right? Awesome. Okay, Bolt is already started thinking. Thought for awesome. All right, let it work. And yeah, let's wait. In the meantime, I'll just go ahead and answer any questions if anyone has. Okay. Can I get notes of previous session? Mega, let's stay in the present. I admit your words. Coding is essential, but I believe thought of a person is the starting point of code. Okay, I don't know. Guys, anyone is having any questions, you can write in the chat. I was not able to follow along like you guys were continuously engaging in the chat. That's good. But if anyone has any questions, you can write in the chat. I would love to give it an attempt to solve it. Please explain these tools as well. Like their ability right now, what is important for you is like they'll be helping you build prototype, right? You can, even beyond prototype, you can also build technical functionalities on these tools as well, which would allow you to launch these websites and products to your end users as well. So for creating MVP, we are parallelly using Lovable. Yes, yeah. And to also make it a point that at least from an interview perspective, you're not only reliant on one skill set or one tool. You are, kind of exploring multiple options parallelly, whichever is, and every tool and options would have a kind of, different pros and cons. Okay, Garvit, I'm not sure why you're again and again sharing your LinkedIn post. Just give us the best prompt which can be used. Rest we know. Oh, thank you. If the world would have been that easier. Is it possible to? Yes, we will be sharing all the recordings, folks. Don't worry. There is no best prompt. I face backend problems while using Lovable Bolt. How can I tackle the problem? We will see that. We are going to build backend as well. Let it build right now because we have to wait for it. Yeah, building Zelato prototype. Yeah, name sounds quite awesome. It is not giving you code exposure, I guess. Okay. Lovable already built something, and this is still thinking, right? Building, like it'll take a lot of time. So in the interest of our time, we'll go ahead and move with Lovable. You could see that your prototype is here. Let me see how many credits we have. We have 3 credits left. Okay, you can click here to see the full length view. You can, all of you who wants to try it out, I'll just share that link as well in the chat. Okay, then open that. All right, now I guess everyone can see it as well, right? Okay, sorry, we are on a different page. This is the, okay, I think V0 also have built something for us. Okay, this is the code showing. We can click on preview and we can click here to see the full length prototype. All right, yeah, this is starting from here and that's going from here to here. Okay, and we can also go to cart. We can Oh, this is quite clean and very limited options. All right. And lovable is something, sorry, the bold is something I also never use. Like it takes a lot of time. I don't know why they are not able to fix it, but you can work with this as well. Right now, let's go ahead and work with this, right? I think of all the output that we have seen, at least of V0, this is quite extensive, right? And it is this specific tool is able to build, our problem statement or PRD to the best possible expectations that we could think of, right? And yeah, you could see that it is also showing you your order streak and your rewards, comfort food if you're looking for. Can look for quick bite, fresh and light, treat yourself. Of course, it's not changing the options because it doesn't have like multiple options and the tagging is not there. For that, you have to kind of add it in the backend. So what we can do is like we can right now add it in the cart, and you could notice that it has also taken Indian flavor of rupees instead of dollars. Right, I have added special veg thali in the cart, and for some reason the cart is not working, right? That's something we can give it a feedback, right? I think it worked. Okay, its cart is showing here as well, here only. Okay, awesome. And this is where we can place the order, we can break down. Okay, these functionalities are not working right now, but we can build on it, right? We can, in these iterative prompts, if you go to Lovable, right? Okay, one second. If you go to Lovable, if you go here, right, you can collate all your feedback, and that is the purpose of doing the design first, right? So if you're doing the design first, you would know, okay, what all is not working, what all is working, and that is where you could make all the list. Okay, while I'm clicking on the cart, it should open a dedicated cart page, right, wherein all the items and the breakdown is. Right now, everything is just coming in the first page, right, on the home page. Yeah, it worked on its own understanding. Right now the place order functionality is not working, right? So you can ask it to make it to work and all, right? It has also given the bifurcation. Yeah, view breakdown is something which is working. This is not working, so you can ask it to build on it, right? Profile is also not working because we have not set it up, right? So let me see. Bolt has given, right? Yeah, Bolt has finally also given us something. We can go to this and continue to project. This is the, this is what Bolt has given me. I think Bolt and level V0 has a similar understanding of the PRD, right? And yeah, it's working. Oh, on the other hand, Lovable have gone to the extensive depth, right? Awesome. So I'll take a quick pause if anyone has any questions. Of course, I'm not going ahead and giving it a feedback again to build on work on these functionalities because yeah, this is something which would not make sense. Now what we will do is we will go ahead and work on the prototype, right? So sorry, this backend, right? Now, give me 1 second. And anyone has any questions, you can ask the questions. I don't know who this SSK is. I'll have to say bye to him. Awesome. All right. And yeah. Yes, that's enough to get going, and that's enough to build a product. Which is better, Lovable or Bold? See, all of these tools you can't generalize. Okay, some tool is better, some tool is not good, right? It depends on your use case. There's a great possibility that Bolt can work really well with you, right, depending on how well you're training it and all, right? Yes, now we'll go ahead and start adding the backend in a moment, but before that, let's take a quick 2 to 3 minutes break, and yeah, so that everyone is at pace and we are not rushing for completing. Okay, are these tools also used by larger product organizations? Yes, a lot of PMs use it. A lot of companies use it, but the companies which are like at least in fintech space, cybersecurity space, and all, they might not be using it. So it depends on the type of ecosystem you're part of. It's like super data sensitive, then yeah, there would be different type of products that you would be using it. You can use, I think, largely Cursor there. It's much more, I would say, acceptable in a lot of companies. Cursor is just not kind of a full length fresh AI product. Is just like built over VS Code. All the tech folks wouldn't be knowing what VS Code is, but it is like most capable to work directly with LLMs. All right, why don't you use directly? We can use Cursor AI. Its tools are just a platform, right? You can use any tools that you're comfortable with. I don't know. We have this option. I have done 10 referrals. Okay, guys, you're on a different. session. Arjun, let's talk about session queries. These are the ops queries we can handle later on, right? You can use Claude Sonnet Pro. Awesome. Looks like we don't have any questions. When we go with free tier of these AI, we hit some limitations. Okay. At least what I've noticed working with Lovable, GPT and all, if you are using the free tiers, the type of output can significantly vary, right? If you use Lovable paid models and then you start building on it, right? I think the quality of output would be totally different, right? It will be on a different level. So quick recall. Okay, recall is something you can see. So what we have done in today's session, we have refined the PRD. We have explored another tool called Chat PRD to build PRD from scratch as well. And then we have just explored 2 to 3 prototyping tools like Lovable, Bolt, and V0. And we have noticed that Lovable so far have given a better performance and quicker results as well. I think quicker was V0, but then the performance was like not that up to the mark, right? Okay, I have shipped 2 products using Cursor and made side money too. That's good, but what should I answer this? Okay, awesome. I think let's go ahead. Let's move further. Okay, all right. So now the next step is setting up the backend, right? So for setting up the backend, what you have to do is like click on this icon. This is a super base, right? It helps you manage all the backend functionalities and all the integrations and tables as well, right? So we're going to click here, connect Superbase, and then you'll see this window. Here you can click on this project, right? Right now, yeah, right now you could see that your login might not be there, right? So you have to probably add, start fresh, right? So how do I disconnect it? Okay, so all of you who are doing it parallelly, when you click here, you would get an option to kind of initiate the sign in or give permission, right? So I've already done that, and I already have like a couple of trials going on, and this is the project that I've created on Superbase, and we're going to work on that, right? So I have just connected my project with this, and I can also disconnect it with here. Yeah, I can also add more organizations, all these functionalities, Superbase gives us, right? So before going ahead and building anything here, oh, I still have this, right? Okay, I'll go ahead and give you a quick walkthrough of Superbase as well. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I can go ahead and change this. Yeah, this is something we're going to working on, right? So see, this is kind of a platform which will help you manage your backend end to end, right? So it'll help you with authentication, storage, edge functions. You can also interact with your DB on a real-time basis, right? So if you go on this sidebar, you can also identify your table editor. So all the tables that you'll be creating to log all the user inputs and all, you'd be seeing all of it here. And you can also have a SQL editor wherein you can run SQL queries and get the required data from the DB. Right, this is how your DB is going to look like. You'll have tables, you'll have functions, triggers, right? You don't have to worry about a lot of things. Let's ignore it for now because I understand many of you might not be knowing tech end to end, right? All right, and now this is the authentication functionality, right? So here, sign in is something we are going to work upon, right? So you could basically enable or disable. Do you want new users to come onto your product, right? So that is where you can just click on this. And if you would want to, let's say, do a kind of email verification. So the moment someone is signing up, you want to send a confirmation mail for them to verify their mail ID, right? You can also enable it, right? So right now I'm enabling it, and yeah, secure email exchange, secure password change, right? You can also decide the password length and OTP expiration seconds and all. So all these things you can decide if you want to. You can also add like different platforms which will help you do the authentication faster, right? So we are good with the platform right now. Let me quickly see if any critical, no critical thing is missed, at least for you. Now the next step is like phase 2, right? And while I'm saying it, I'll enable the chat mode by default. If I click on the enter button, I end up losing the um, credits, right? Build phase 2, right? So, okay. Set up the authentication. authentication. Okay. And also ensure that one user is not able to peek into other user profiles and data, right? Many of you might be thinking, okay, that's a common sense, but your system doesn't know it, right? They don't have common sense. They just have information and data and numbers. That's what they will act on, right? So you have to specify, okay? And one more thing we can write, okay, whenever new user is signing up, trigger the confirmation mail and ensure that all the profile or user specific data is stored in specific tables. Okay. Next, we can say that, okay, create the required tables for all the events where users are interacting with the platform, and know that some tables might be interconnected and try to draw the relevance wherever required. Okay, and if I had like a lot more time, what I would have also done is like I would have given it a more detailed prompt. I'll give you that 1 second. Give me the detailed prompt for below requirements. Give me 1 second. I'm just Hi. Yeah, I'm just going to GPT and I'm just asking for give me the detailed prompt for setting up the backend, right? Okay. Now, awesome. Please generate the schema, all the schema and everything is built, right? So if you understand these technical terminologies, you can also kind of give these detailed specific queries, and you can also make changes wherever you would want to, right? But in the meantime, I think your prompt would also suffice, right? But then there's a I'll just go ahead and okay, sorry, I've entered it on chat. I'll just disable this and ask it to stop and disable this and then I'll ask it to build it. Okay, yeah. So if you understand these, table fields, table values and all, right? Any product opening in Zolato. Yeah, that is not created, Shivam. You can create the detail functionality wherein you have to create a product detail page, right? So it's not about, we are not in the hurry to launch Zolato to the market like at 8 p.m. exactly, right? Because that functionality is not set up, right? So if you want to set up food detail pages, you have to specify, okay, once the user clicks on each of the food cards, what should happen next, right? Your app should open a detailed page which talks about, okay, which restaurant it is from, reviews, and all the details about the food and ingredients, right? So now it is thinking about making the database changes. So let it think, and then it'll ask us to improve. If we wanted to make any changes, we can also do that, right? So let's wait for it to work on it. If you want to see, you can also see that the same thing with GPT did, it also doing that. Okay, so it is giving instructions: create user profile tables, create table public profiles, primary keys, right? And it has also created a restaurant table, right, wherein it is saving image URLs, queues and types, ratings, delivery fee, minimum order amount, right? All these, you can see that food items table also it is being created, right, wherein all the food specific categories are saved. You can also notice that here it is also saving a specific mood type against each food item, right? So that if you would want, let's say, comfort food, right? So all the comfort food options would only be visible, right? Awesome. Now let's see that it has built it. Now let's quickly approve it. Let's see that we still have tokens. Yeah. Let's wait for it to build. I think Lovable might be also providing you a custom URL, right? you can go to their pricing options, and then you can note, yeah, if you go for the private options, sorry, the paid options pro version, you'll get like custom domains as well, right? You can also remove the lovable badge, right? All these things you can do it. Okay, now let's see what it's doing. I have created a comprehensive database schema with proper security. Now I'll implement the authentication system with email confirmation. Okay, so you could see that, right? It's working on the code right now. If you want to see that, I can also click on the respective pages. Yes, working fast. If you are a developer and if you have a paid plan, you can also make parallel changes to the code editor as well, right? So, but not in a free plan, right? Is it necessary to use these same only, or we can use others? You can use whatever you want. Other tools are anyway just a platform, right? We'll just disable this. Okay, let it build. We have to wait until it finishes it. It also incurred certain errors, so let it fix that. If you understand the code, you can also see that what is the error. So this is what the error is coming. Okay, looks like it has resolved the error, and now working towards giving us the final build. Okay, 2 errors we have encountered. Awesome. So it's still working. So let it finish this. And okay, I've successfully implemented phase 2. Oh, here we go. Right. So now let me first try and see if it's working or not. Check, of course, right. When you are doing these iterations, you can also make a point to correct this UX, right? It's not good. These texts are not visible. So I'll quickly go to my mail, which is on my phone. I'll just go ahead and approve this. Where is the mail? Yeah, I've got the mail and I'm clicking on confirm mail. I have, okay, okay, let me try if it's working. I think it has given me some error. Oh, no, it's working, right? That's good. Awesome. Now what we can do is like we can see if it's working here. Awesome. Any one of you who wants to try it as well, you can also try signing up, see what is happening. I've shared the URL in the chat with everyone. Try signing up, see if it's sending you a mail for confirmation. That's okay. I've shared the URL, Ritu. You can check in the chat. All right, now I'll just go ahead and I will add my email ID here. And I'll just right now enter random password and let's see what happens. Okay, invalid email or password. You could see that, right? This error it has given. And I'll enter the correct password now. Now it has given, taking me to the home page, right? So yeah. Of course, these functionalities are not set up yet. So I've clicked on add to cart. I can add more of this food. I'll really like it. And okay, if you want to change functionality, you can also say that, okay, if the user is adding the same dish again, then give it an option to add plus minus instead of keep on extending the list, right? This is, here you go, right? And I'll just remove this, and you can also place order, but place order is not designed right now. You could see that it is also doing calculations, and these calculations are not totally correct, right? These are the, again, I think, yeah, it's doing the math properly. I just thought there are 4 values, right? So you can see that, right? You are able to build like end-to-end product with proper backend setup, right? Now I will go ahead and I'll show you this Superbase backend, right? I'm sure many of you are able to. How do you deploy? Can you explain, please? Deploy inside Opal itself. Thank you. You get direct level. Superbase. Yes, I use Superbase. Yes. All right. So you could see, go to database, and within database you can also look into different tables, right? You can look into, this is the cart table that you've built, food items table you've built, right? All these tables which has these many values itself, right? So you can also create a different column also if you want. This is a table editor wherein you can go and see all these tables out there. Right now it is working on the dummy values, but you can go ahead and you can also kind of, this is anyway is going to be dynamic, right? Cart items, food items, you can see that it's already created, right? All these veg thali, dal makhani, bhel puri, or you could also see that it's already here. All right, order items table is blank. I think these are the folks who have created the profile, right? So yeah, I think almost 22 of you have created. Nia Beam, Harsh Raj, right? So you could see that. I'm sure you would have received a mail from Mahesh as well. Interesting people, right? And you can also go and see that in authentication as well, right? These folks have been okay. Only one couple of you have confirmed authentication. You can also check that how many users have initiated it. You can also add kind of a manual invitation to someone to be part of this application. You can also create any user from the backend as well, right? So yeah, this is what basically the journey goes for, from 0 to 1, basically from ideation to kind of setting up the backend, right? But when you want to, let's say, build an extensive product, you have to also look into that entire end-to-end functionalities of each of the features. You could see that in this product we have not gone into the depth of, okay, how cart functionality is working, how place order functionality is working, right? And if you would want, we can also kind of ask Lovable to do it. Looks like I have exhausted all my credits for the day, right? I think it's not showing any credits right now, so I would not be able to, okay, 0 free credits remaining today. That's why I was not going into the depth of it, because the purpose was to set up the backend end to end as well, right? So all right, and email read limit exceeded, yes. Awesome, guys. So we, of course, we will take a quick break for Q&As, and then we're going to do one more case study of how an applied AI PM would have built a kind of this spam functionality that you would have all observed in your like Gmail, Outlook. Some product would be naming it as spam, some would be naming it as junk, right? So how do you decide like which mail to be parked as spam or a good mail or a healthy mail, right? So now that's what we're going to look into, right? So as a product manager at Gmail, you need to build a feature which identifies the mail as spam and accordingly puts into a respective category. That's the problem statement you want to solve. And the reason why you want to solve this problem statement, because with wider adoption of email, various companies have started using it as a mode for promotion, right? So a lot of junk mails were coming as part of the primary mails as well, right? So users were kind of quite confused in terms of what is important, and in fact they were also able to lose a lot of critical information because of the number of emails that were landing in the inbox every day, right? So that's the problem that we are trying to solve. Okay, let's first start with the AI development cycle, AI development life cycle. So first is like, we have to build this feature. This does this. As I mentioned yesterday, first task is going to start from data collection and data preparation, right? So data collection and preparation stage would involve collecting all the emails which users have reported or marked as spams, or also purchasing a lot of data from the internet or third-party service providers, right? And understanding, okay, what type of mails could be categorized as spam, right? Once you have enough data, then you do the model selection. Okay, for this specific use case, which type of AI model might work, right? So there are different type of AI models like regression, classifications, generations, and pattern identification and all, right? So, and there are like much more as well. So for this use case, we need to work with a classification model. So what this classification model helps you identify, it gives you a either 0 or 1 score of every mail. If it's 0, which means like if it's this mail is not a spam. If it's 1, which means like the mail is spam, right? If the mail is spam, then you put it in the spam category, right? And right, once the model selection has happened, then on the data that you've collected and prepared, you're going to start training of the model, right? And of course, you do the training, testing, validation, reinforcement learning, all the things you've done, and you found that the model is decent enough to be deployed in the market. But the moment you deploy this model in the market, many users have raised a complaint that many of the healthy mails are also being marked as spam, right? So now, before I go ahead and answer it, I would want to understand from any of you who understand that you've upskilled in AI, how would you address this situation with AI stakeholders internally, right? Although, so the situation is you've deployed this model, it is working for some users. For some users, we've also already seen the rise in complaints, right? Which means like a lot of healthy mails are being marked as spam, which means like if something spam is being marked, the users might not be paying a lot of attention to it, right? So, and there's a good chance that you might miss on the critical information, right? So would want to understand from you, how do you address this situation with AI stakeholders internally? What is going to be your first take on this? Write your answers in the chat or any thoughts you have. It's okay if you don't have any thoughts, but we'll wait for. Nothing is happening in Bolt. We have just dropped it. If you want to carry it further, you can also continue building on it. Right? I've just tried it in 3 prototyping tools. I think Lovable was like very close to what we are expecting, and then we've just gone ahead and built it in that. Okay, Darshan is saying that check whether mail is okay. If the user is saying it's a spam, then you have to go by it, right? Which means like your model is not working. Where it fails as much data and gather feedback we get from users, AI evals, categories listed. Yes, eval is the right thing that we need to do. Parameters to set what identifies as spam and genuine. Check error rates, but what would you get by checking error rates? I'll just tell you the quantum of it, right? How many instances have been there? The enough, like I would say, decent enough instances have been, reported, so that this feature have got the attention of the stakeholders. Data set should be given properly. Okay, but you can't. So okay, let's also assume that whatever data you had already, you can't get a better data than that, right? Make a feedback loop. Okay, that's interesting. It's a generic answer. Do you think that answers would work in your AI interview kind of rounds? Check metrics. Okay, very nice, Dave. Thank you. Custom behavior on type of mails they on spam. Awesome. I think let's go ahead and try attempting to solve it. Okay. So right now I'm going to work with only one parameter, right? I'm not going to, because see, if you have to literally solve this and see even if there is a potential to solve it or not, there's going to be a lot of, model parameters that you would have to fine tune and get the better accuracy as well, right? So now let's go ahead and see what we have next. Okay. So how the model works is it predicts the okay. I'll just explain what this is, right? See, whenever a new mail is coming, right, the mail is then going through that specific model that you've built. After that, that model is giving every mail a specific probability, right? And that probability is going to be between 0 to 1, right? And we have a threshold default value, which means like anything which is above 0.5, you're going to mark it as 1, right? And if you're going to mark it as 1, which means that your model has predicted a mail as spam, right? If the probability is like less than 0.5, then you can mark it as 0, which means like the mail is healthy, right? I hope this is understood by everyone. This is very critical. I'll just repeat it again. So whenever a user, let's say I am receiving a mail, before the mail being categorized in my mailbox, it goes through a engine on the server, where we run the model, and that model gives the probability of that specific mail, right? That probability comes between 0 to 1, right? If the probability is more than the threshold value, then we are marking it as 1, right? If we are marking it as 1, which means the mail is spam, right? And if it is less than 0.5, which means the mail is not a spam. If it's a spam, then we are landing it into a spam category. If it's not a spam, then we're going to land it in a primary inbox, right? So I just wanted to understand, is everyone with me on this? Because understanding this specific context is very important before we move ahead. Thank you, Dave. Everyone understood how this process is working? I need thumbs up, yes, no in the chat. Because moving further, if you're not able to understand this, like this basic working, you'll not be able to grasp what I have for you in the further slides. Understood, right? We are getting a mail. Our model is giving us a probability based on the threshold value, right? If it's more than 0.5, we are marking it as marking the mail as spam. If it's less than 0.5, we are marking it as like healthy or a fresh mails, right? Awesome. Now, okay. All right, so let's read this. Our model is predicting more ones means marking. So what is happening right now, if you look into this problem statement, right, many users are raising the complaint that even their healthy mails are also being raised as spams, right? What this mean? This mean is that for all the mails, let's say out of 100 mails, your model is marking, let's say 70% of the mails as one, right? Which means like your model is predicting more ones. Am I making sense, right? If your model is predicting more ones, which means like overall, you would be having like more false positives, right? What false positive means, like all the mails would be having higher probability of getting it into a spam category, right? If it is marking 0, which means like there is a good possibility that the mail could still be a spam, but still landing it in the kind of a primary inbox, right? So in this case, what could be, based on your limited understanding right now, what could be a potential solution you would kind of propose, which would help you reduce these false positives, or which would help you reduce these, let's say, more ones, right? If I would be more explicit on that. There's no basis of it. Threshold value is default, and I'll answer it like, as we go along. Now, on the information that I've just shared, right? So see, the problem is like more of our mails are getting marked as spams, right? Which means our model is giving us more ones, right? So what all changes we can do in our model so that we can reduce these false positives? Loosen the criteria of check. I love these generic answers. Guys, they're not going to cut. Use rag and retrain. Okay. All right. No, Vishal, no. These are kuch bhi answers. Trust me. Keeping. Oh, Mayank, if you keep you're definitely in the right direction. Super lovely that you're able to kind of get to that, right? If you are able to, let's work on your case that you've given, right? If you'd have your threshold value more than less than 0.5, right? That would further mean that you're going to predict more of the mails as spams. Because if you would have your threshold value less than 0.5, let's say 0.3, you have threshold value, right? Which means like the spectrum of kind of that probability which would be going towards the right side, right? You would have more mails predicted as false positives, right? Or ones, right? So yeah, here the right answer would be, at least if you're going to work with only one parameter, you would have to increase the threshold, right? So if you would increase the threshold, and let's also consider that situation, and I'm going to go very slow. Okay, let me re-summarize it for all of you. Right now, we are working with threshold 0.5, right? So anything above 0.5 is getting marked as spam. Anything less than 0.5 is getting marked as non-spam, right? Now, the problem is, in this current setup, right, a lot of users are complaining that many of my fresh mails are getting marked as spam. So what you would go ahead and do is you will be basically increasing the threshold, right? From 0.5, you would increase, let's say, the threshold to 0.7, right? If you would increase that from 0.5 to 0.7, which means like more of the mails are going to get marked as 0, because all the probabilities between 0 to 0.7 are going to marked as 0, and only the probabilities which are equal to or more than 0.7 are going to marked as 1, which means like the one spectrum has reduced, which means like the chances of false positives have reduced, right? And if that model works well, then we can also expect in future that the users would kind of raise less complaints. Although there is also one possibility which might happen, that a lot of users might have a, let's say, relatively bad user experience in a way that since you are leaving a lot of mails, right? If you are having, let's say, higher threshold, which means like you're leaving a lot of the mails, and even if you have, let's say, even a slight doubt, you're leaving it to the primary inbox, right? With that, what will happen? A lot of spam mails would also go in the primary, but that is fine, right? Because users would simply ignore it. You can't afford a situation wherein a lot of healthy mails are going in as spam, right? Because if that situation is arising, right, in that specific case, the users might lose on the critical information, which could be a lot of times time urgent as well, right? So there are different cases wherein higher threshold would work, right? In, I would say, cancer detection case, probably lower threshold could work, right? And this is just the one parameter that we have kind of dealt with, right? But when you would Okay, now, okay, one more thing I want to cover here, where the product manager would come in, right? All that context that I've mentioned, okay, would marking a spam mail as healthy mail would be fine or not, right? This is more of a subject matter understanding. Your data scientist team might not be aware about that, right? As a product manager, you would have to discuss with them. You'll have to kind of brainstorm different scenarios and then kind of figure out, okay, what could be a better, I would say, parameter selection to deploy this model and retrain and see that, okay, how it is performing, right? So that is where PMs are going to be extremely critical. But get ready to be bogged down, because threshold is like very simple term which I've just explained, right? But there are like a lot of other terms like activation functions, softmax, ROC curve, AUC curve. Like there are like hundreds of different parameters or terminologies in AI and data science, right? And this is like one use case, right? What if you're working with more of LLMs, which are like having more complex structure and all, right? So how would you kind of work with data scientist team if you're not able to understand their terminology, right? So what I'm trying to also see that of course I hope I was able to explain this case to all of you, right? But if you are working with, let's say, data science teams and all, it's very much important that you understand their language, right? Similar to, let's say, if you're working with engineers, you don't know what let's say backend is, front end is, APIs are, right? Every time you're going to have tech specific conversations, you are going to get bogged down by it, right? So yeah, I hope this was understood.